Every screen on Earth flickers to life, showing the President of the United States standing at a podium in Washington, D.C. My fellow Americans, my fellow citizens of Earth, today we were attacked. Our newest colony in the Alpha Centauri System, a colony of 1 million people, has been targeted. We don't have casualty reports yet, but we must prepare for the worst. This was a civilian exploratory colony, a beacon of our hope and curiosity. We do not know the reason for this attack. The system was uninhabited, a dead system, confirmed by the Council to have no prior claims. The President pauses, his expression grim. We do not know the size or the nature of the attacking force, but we will find out. A battle group, accompanied by a medical team, has been dispatched. We remain optimistic that there may be survivors. At this moment, we are at war. How or why this began is irrelevant now. What matters is that we find those responsible and bring them to justice. I understand the global sentiment against deep space travel, the desire to remain here on Earth or within our own solar system. But I hope, I pray, that we can unite. I don't ask the world to join the fight, but I do hope for your support in manufacturing what we need for this war effort. It will take 12 hours for our battle groups to arrive at the front. I will keep you all updated as information becomes available. May God have mercy on their souls. Thank you. A reporter asked why we ventured so far from Earth. My answer is simple: because we can. We followed all proper protocols. The Council confirmed the system was uninhabited with no prior claims. Another asked why we were there. The reason was anthropology. It was a dead system, home to a long-gone civilization. Silence in the briefing room. The President raises a hand, a gesture that quiets the entire chamber. He turns and asks for the Alpha Centauri probe data. A few tense moments pass, then the main screen flickers to life. We see a first-person view, the probe descending through an atmosphere, wisps of cloud streaking by. Then it breaks through. Below is a vast blue ocean, uncannily like our own. The probe banks, flying over a sprawling continent. And that's when everyone gasps. Pyramids, not just one style, but a shocking fusion of Egyptian and Mayan architecture, all clustered together in one region. The room erupts. Reporters leap to their feet, shouting questions, a wall of chaotic noise. The President raises his hand again, a calm center in the storm, waiting for the pandemonium to subside before revealing more. He told them they had no answers, that the investigation was just getting started when they were attacked. A silence fell over the press room. The President stated that the main concern right now is getting the battle group to the site and making contact with the colony. One reporter piped up, asking if he knew which alien race was responsible for the attack. The President admitted they had their suspicions. The reporter pressed, asking who they were. After a brief hesitation, the President said, "We suspect it could be the Viclorians, but we need to conduct a thorough investigation to be certain." He emphasized that at this moment, they didn't have much information to share. He thanked everyone for coming and promised another press conference if new evidence emerged. He then turned and walked off the podium as reporters continued shouting questions, all of which went unanswered. "Did you catch the news last night? It was insane." The broadcast cut back to regular programming, but the internet just exploded. Right after the President's press conference, social media was a total firestorm. Some world leaders are actually condemning the U.S., saying we never should have ventured beyond the solar system. Can you believe that? A few are even calling it divine retribution for space exploration itself. The whole world is split. Global polls show a massive drop in support for the United States and the colonists. The general feeling is, this is an American problem, not ours. But then, new polls started popping up, showing exactly what Americans think about the world turning its back on them. Things are getting heated, and this is just the beginning. You know, someone brought up a really interesting point the other day. It highlights how divided we are, even on big issues. The fact that America is venturing beyond our solar system is a huge deal. It's something we have to do if humanity is going to survive long term. In a few billion years, our sun will die, and it'll take Earth with it. If we don't start looking for a new home now, the human race will simply cease to exist. Sure, I'll be long gone by then, but that doesn't matter. What matters is that we start the work today to find other Earth-like planets. If we don't, some other intelligent species will. We've been told that if we venture out, we need permission from a council before claiming a new planet. So we did that, and we got attacked. Does that seem fair to you? 12 hours later, the battle group warped into the system. The comms officers immediately started scanning all radio frequencies, desperately listening for any sign of human conversation. But all they found was static, a dead, empty hiss across the spectrum. As the ships began their system-wide scans, our representatives were already notifying the Galactic Council of the attack. When they named the accused, the council chamber erupted. You could see the astonishment on their faces. One council member shot up, demanding proof. Our ambassador admitted he didn't have hard evidence right then, but he assured them the battle group would investigate and find it. Then another council member tried to forbid us from returning to the planet. Our ambassador's response was ... direct. He essentially told them to go chase their own tails, which is pretty funny since some of them actually have tails. He made it clear. Our primary mission is to find any survivors, render aid, and bring them home. That's why we also have a medical fleet on the way, trailing safely behind the battle group. First, we secure the area. Then we rescue our people. The council members said nothing, but their looks told a story of disdain for the ambassador and the human race. He thanked them for their time, stepped off the podium, and began to walk away. The council let him and his staff leave without a word. As they walked, a staff member named Brittany anxiously asked, "Ambassador, what do we do now?" He turned to his team, his face grim. "Go back to your quarters. Pack everything. Meet me at the transport. You have 20 Earth minutes." Fear and confusion washed over their faces, but they scrambled to obey. In exactly 20 minutes, they were all standing by the transport ship. Just then, the ambassador arrived with his family. "Get on the ship," he commanded. "Stow your baggage. We're leaving this council as fast as we can." What did he know that they didn't? Just as we started asking questions, the ambassador cut us off. "Get on the ship now. We'll talk on the way back to Earth." We didn't need to be told twice. We scrambled up the ramp as fast as we could. The pilot immediately requested departure approval. The moment it came through, the engines roared to life, and the transport lifted off the ground. That's when we heard it over the comms new orders to keep the human delegation planetside. But it was too late. We were already climbing, burning hard for space. The ambassador was visibly nervous, glancing back at the receding cityscape. They didn't want us caught on the ground. We punched through the atmosphere and into the black, engines still at full thrust. Sure enough, council ships gave chase, but we had too much of a head start. Once we were clear, the pilot initiated the jump. Next stop, home. We were safe now, light years away from council space. A collective sigh of relief filled the ship's bridge. I turned to the ambassador, my voice barely a whisper. "Why? Why did we have to run?" He looked at me, his eyes heavy with the weight of his knowledge. "The council knew," he said. "They knew about the attack on Alpha Centauri, and they did nothing. I found out, and they realized I had." He paused, letting the gravity of his words sink in. "They're terrified I'll expose them to the galaxy." "So, they're afraid of us?" I asked, a hint of disbelief in my tone. He nodded slowly. "Yes, they're afraid of our capabilities, of what we can do. They once called us murder monkeys." I couldn't help but giggle. "Murder monkeys? Why?" "Because we're human," he explained. We've fought for our entire existence. There's never been a single year in our history without conflict. The Council fears our tenacity. And in that moment, I understood completely. Pilot, we're in range? Good. Patch me through to Earth. It might take a few minutes, but get it done. Thank you. Mr. President, can you hear me? It's Ambassador Thorne. The connection is stable. Sir, I have reason to believe the Council knew about the attack on the colony. There was a moment of silence on the other end. Are you sure, Thorne? Yes, sir, I am. As we were leaving their space, several Council ships pursued us. We barely managed to jump away before they closed in. The President acknowledged the information, his voice heavy. What are you going to do, sir? He said he didn't know yet, but he was glad we were safe. We'll be back in Earth's jurisdiction in 14 hours. I had to ask ... the colony, sir. His response was grim. No survivors found yet. I simply acknowledged. There was nothing else to say. Good evening. Just moments ago, every screen on Earth flickered to life. The President of the United States, standing at the podium, made a grave announcement to the world. The battle group sent to investigate has arrived at the colony, and as of yet, there are no survivors. The colony was completely devastated. We've learned that the Viclorians lobbed asteroids at the site. It seems these bugs have no dignity and no honor. What makes this even worse is the revelation that followed. We have reason to believe the Galactic Council knew of this impending attack and never warned us, nor did they try to stop it. Ambassador James and his staff barely escaped the Council's home world. As they departed, several Council ships pursued them without provocation, in an apparent attempt to silence them. This is deeply disturbing. In response, the President is now encouraging Congress to vote on the War Powers Act. His final words were chilling. We are at war. News reporters couldn't believe their ears, their jaws dropping in unison. The United States was going to war with an alien species. This was a first for humanity. When the news reached the Interstellar Council, they were stunned. The Americans blamed them for the destruction of a human colony by the bug-like Viclorians. The Council frantically tried to contact the ambassador and the President, but their calls went unanswered. After a day of intense debate, Congress voted for war. The story exploded. Every front page, every news alert screamed the same headline. America declares war on alien bugs. The world was in shock. In the U.S., patriotism surged. Military recruitment skyrocketed from 3 million to an astonishing 50 million. NASA's mining operations in the asteroid belt went into overdrive, extracting vital minerals. Research and development teams worked around the clock. In the United States, an unprecedented shift was underway. If you weren't in the military, R&D, mining, or building space docks, you were part of the war effort. Everyone was now either becoming a medic or working in manufacturing, keeping the country running and supplying the front lines. For the first time in history, every single person who could work was working. This total mobilization didn't go unnoticed. Other world leaders grew concerned, terrified that this war against the Viclorian bugs would bring the fight back to Earth, dooming our own colony. But the President offered a calm reassurance, hinting at a secret plan. A plan no one knew about. It all started when one of our scientists toured an alien lab. In a dusty corner, she spotted a strange device. When she asked about it, the alien scientist just shrugged and said it didn't work. But she saw something they missed. You won't believe how our planet's ultimate defense system came to be. It all started with a piece of alien tech just gathering dust in a lab. A young scientist saw it, asked if she could have it, and her boss just waved her off. He didn't care. So she took it. For the next 20 years, that device became her life's work. She didn't just study it. She fixed it, and then she made it even better. And now, we have a defense for Earth. It's a variable plasma force shield. We can lower this shield not just over our planet, but over all our colonies across the solar system. This thing can stop anything, even energy weapons. It's a temporary shield, of course. When we say it keeps everything out, we mean everything, including the sun's rays. That's why we'll only switch it on when a threat is right on our doorstep. But don't worry, it works. We've tested it. Earth and the colonies will be safe. We're facing a serious threat, and it's time to get serious about our defense. The bugs have a fleet of 2,000 ships. Right now, we have 1,500. Not only are they outnumbering us, but their technology is more advanced. But let me be crystal clear about something. We're going to build more ships, create more battle groups, and we will close that technological gap. As for the Council and their politics, that's a decision for the world to make. Thanks for watching, and subscribe for more updates on our progress. Phantom Static, where the phantoms speak through the static.